Greetings everyone, thank you for watching another video on this YouTube channel. Today, and as per usual, we are going to see something that is really interesting, and I hope that it will help you moving forward. We are talking about oVirt engine. So oVirt, or on the more enterprise side of the business, which is called Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. It's a distribution based on Red Hat, which of course is just an embedded KVM. That is the virtualization layer, and it has all the capabilities that we can find on other commercial projects, like for example VMware with the ESXi. Then here it will be oVirt host, and for example the vCenter, here it will be oVirt engine, so or oVirt engine appliance. So on this video we are going to deploy everything on top of VMware, because I do not have enough spare hardware to install it bare metal, which I will love to, but hopefully will give you just a kind of a first taste of what oVirt is, the Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization, and I mean, maybe just give you some ideas, maybe even you wanted to deploy. And again, it's nothing wrong with VMware. Of course, it's kind of the de facto virtualization out there with, I don't know how many customers, but pretty much the 90-something% of the virtualization customers, they have VMware, I'm pretty sure. But once again, today's video is just to show you, well, alternatives, show you how you can even maximize the investment on the hardware by deploying open source technologies. You can deploy oVirt for free and run everything for free. If you want something that is more enterprise for your business, or if you're a service provider, you might want to take a look more into the Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. So you have all the support, all the kind of patching, and at the end, just you have somebody to call in case that anything fails. So today, as I said, we're going to deploy oVirt. We're going to deploy it on top of VMware, and we are going to deploy later on the oVirt engine as a self-host. So we are going to do nested inside a nested. And I have here a screen that I just prepared for you with some system requirements that you need to have ready before you move forward, and maybe we will see as well the deployment, and I will make some comments and as per usual. Let me show you quite quickly what I am referring when I say when I say that you need a few system requirements. Okay. So if I go into this web browser just here, well, this is the usual Scali-Draw that I absolutely love, and I mentioned already how to leverage this in another video, how you can just put yourself on top of the image and so on. This is what we are going to deploy today, and you can see over the system requirements is just on my case, I'm going to do it everything with one single VM. I'm not going to deploy multiple hosts. I'm not going to deploy the as I said, the host, the engine appliance. I'm not going to deploy that separately or anything like that, which of course you can always do, but I'm just going to use all in one. Probably I'm missing something here, so let me add that. You see, it's good stuff that I'm just recording this, so you can see as well with me. Let's put this. Is this an appliance and storage? Yeah, okay, I'll put this. So because we need as well NFS storage, NFS storage, perfect. So yeah, and the connectivity, it needs to be from here. Needs to be something like that, and like that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let me move this over here, and now there we go. So once again, as I did mention, as a part of the of today's system requirements, I'm going to do everything with one VM with enough resources. What are these resources? You can take a look on the website of oVirt or Red Hat Enterprise virtualization. But on my case, for my lab, I'm just using 8 virtual CPUs for what it will be my host ESXi, if you want to call it like that, which is just the hypervisor. 8 virtual CPUs. I'm going to use 24 gigabytes of RAM. And it seems quite a lot, but you will find out that if you put it with less, you might have problems later on when you try to deploy VMs and when you try to deploy other appliances, which we will on the next video. And then 100 gigs operating system, that's probably optional. You can do it with less, most likely. And we need to have some NFS storage ready to later on when we install the oVirt, when we deploy it. But anyways, so 8 virtual CPUs, 20 gigabytes of RAM, 100 gigs operating system. You can run this on a Intel NUC or just with I don't know, with VMware Workstation if you have this enough capacity to do so. What else? What is important? 2 DNS entries are really important. First one is just the host itself. So when we install this VM with the oVirt image, you will need that DNS already created and reply, with the loopback and everything. And then when we enable that hosted nested engine appliance inside the host, we are going to need another FQDN, so 2 FQDNs, okay? And then we need to install the oVirt host, and then we need to install or probably enable the hosted engine. So where can you download all of this? You just go oVirt download, and they have a really comfortable image which is ready to go. You see over here, we can deploy the host on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8.4 or CentOS, or the oVirt node, which is what I'm using, which is based on CentOS Extreme or in CentOS Extreme. So yeah, if you just go over here, you can see on there, and then the download is just the oVirt node, which is just a minimum image based on CentOS. I really prefer to download this and just follow the steps that I will show you on the next step by step. Let's jump into the procedure together. Come on, guys. So the first thing that we will need to do, as we can see on here, is just, create a new virtual machine as per usual, right? Create a new virtual machine. Then we just introduce here a name, oVirt node, because again, this will be one hypervisor. If we refer to VMware terms, it will be kind of like a nested ESXi, because I'm deployed already on top of another hypervisor. But yeah, so I'm just deploying it on there. ESXi 7.270 is okay. Linux, and this is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. CPU, remember 8. That will be the preferred option, and then just have one socket. Memory, you will see me here introducing 16 or 12 or something like that, but it failed later on the deployment. So please put here 24 or more if you can, so you can deploy more VMs and run better and so on. So do not make anything with 16, just put here 24 gigabytes of memory RAM, please, so you don't have problems. In the hard disk, as per usual, you see here that it's just 16 gigs. You will be happy with that. I put 100. If it consumes less, then happy days. Yeah, 100 it will be okay. Over here, I still have 700, and then thin provision, so it's not a problem at all. And here I'm going to connect it to the network that I want. So this the deeper group VMs, and I need to connect the ISO file that I've downloaded, which once again it is this CentOS Extreme. This image base in CentOS Extreme from oVirt. I'm happy with all of that. I will click next. I will click finish on here. And now, the VM it just deploys. It just takes a few seconds, right? And then, give me one sec. Okay, and now what we do is we power the VM on, And what we do, we just open the remote console. So now that we have the remote console, I think I will maximize the console so you can see what I'm doing on here. You can test the media, or you can just install the oVirt node 4.4.6 at the time I'm running this ISO. You might have something different, of course. So let's wait for the VM, kind of the ISO to load, to boot, to be ready, which that needs to take that much time. Let's select the language. English United States for me, it's okay. I'm used to this keyboard for a long time, so that's fine. Now we will need to okay, English US, okay, yeah. And then now we need to select the time zone in the case that you are on another time zone. That's okay. On the disk, 100 gigs, and yeah, click in done. I don't know if I have something there on that disk. It shouldn't, but anyways, okay, yeah, kind of reclaim the whole space. Yeah, delete everything. I might just have been doing some testing before with this VM, so let's that's okay. Now, okay, let's select it here. Yeah, reclaim space. Yes, reclaim space. It should be all. Yeah, okay, now it's good. KDU EMP, nothing. Network and host name. This is important, guys. You can configure this later on, but it's better if you do it now here. So you put the host name. Remember, this needs to be preferable already on the DNS. Bear in mind that. And now, of course, just select here what it's important for you. So in terms of the Ethernet, that will be, I don't think I need to edit anything here. Just go on the IPv4 settings, add a new address. I'm using PHP IPAM to reserve and to see the free IPs as per usual. Netmask 24.95, DNS server 1.6, and search domains. This will be my domain, which is jorgedelacruz.es. I think this should be okay. So nothing on IPv6. This okay. Okay. Yeah, you can see the VMX NEC 3, 10 gig. And that's it. We are ready to begin the installation. What's the security policy? Yeah, okay. And then finally the root password for for the operating system and for the for this host itself. Remember, this will be one virtualization host, and it will be my only one. I'm not going to play with anyone, anything else. I'm going to accelerate the process because this took quite long time on my case. So it took around, I'll say 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. So I'm going to accelerate this so you do not see any of this procedure. It's just installing the ISO on top of my disk, the disk that I've configured. And when this finishes, let's see what else is running. Complete. Let's reboot the system. Nothing else and nothing complex to do. And when this system is rebooted, hopefully it will give us the it have cockpit already enabled. So if you have seen the previous video around Rocky Linux, we needed to enable it, but in this case it's already it is already there and enabled. You can probably use Rocky Linux to do all of this and install oVirt on top, because at the end it's just a Red Hat variant of the 8 series. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it will work. But anyways, I just prefer this ISO because it's easy for me to do and to run. So it's telling me go to the HTTPS oVirt engine.jorgedelacruz.es 9090 or via IP. But because I have the DNS and FQDN, it's much better if I just go over the FQDN. So once again, DNS are quite important. 2 DNS entries, please. 2 IPs, of course, that you need to have ready. Now we have used the first one, so the first DNS entry and the first IP. It's used, the 95, and the first host name, which it might be different of what I showed you at the beginning of the video, but You just need to have 2 FQDNs and 2 IPs. That's it. So if I go here, I just introduce the user and password. Nothing complex, of course. So let's go here, admin, and now I think it needs to be root and my password, not admin. But anyways, so you can see here I have, this is cockpit. Cockpit doesn't have anything special. All the good stuff with the overview, logs, storage, networking, firewall. I think we did a quick review the other day when it was Rocky Linux. So it's nothing different. It's exactly the same. But in virtualization, we can see that the hosted engine, it might be gray out, so we can always click there later on and we will configure it from there. Let's take a look at the storage. I don't have anything special on here, the 100 gigs, which is okay. The networking might not be doing much at the moment, but as soon as we will deploy oVirt on top, you will see that things will change. So once again, this at the moment is just pretty much a vanilla Linux CentOS install with a cockpit already enabled. And of course, it has already a lot of packages ready to kind of start the Red Hat virtualization engine. So you do not need to add anything from packaging or anything like that. It's already there. So you can see hosted engine. And I think what we need to do just now is just clicking start as a hosted engine. And then follow the wizard that it will appear right here. As you can see, one VM, rule them all on top of a hypervisor that I had already. So you can run this on top of even VMware Workstation for testing purpose and so on. So it's just just put here the FQDN and then put the VM IP address that it will be for that VM, which it will be the engine appliance, the kind of nested in this case. So once again, it's not the 95, it's now, my case is the next IP and it is the next FQDN, okay? And you can see that it's validating it. So once again, all of this needs to be ready. And if not, it will fail. So I just introduced the root password for that new appliance. I just introduced the IP address, the DNS. So what this is doing, it is going to enable the whole virtualization on top of this single VM, which will be the host. And it will, okay, let me see what else is here. I think I missed the 24 on here. It will enable the virtualization itself, and it will deploy on top a VM, which the first VM, which it will be some sort of the vCenter, right? Which in this case is called the engine appliance. So you prepare VM. You can see once again here the name of the VM and the storage and so on. Okay, so this is running. Once again, this prepare VM. You can go to have a coffee or something, because it takes roughly 30 minutes, 35, 45 minutes. It took quite a lot of time, because remember, this is enabling the whole virtualization on this VM, on this first host, and it is deploying as well that VM on top. So it does kind of 2 steps on one. Let's add a storage, and this is the storage that you should have ready as a system requirements. It's just, in my case, it's a simple NFS, and I'm going to connect to my 192, which is a QNAP, by the way, and I'm quite happy with QNAP as per usual. 192.168.150, and then yes, a column, and then going to the VM. I have that NFS storage for ages, so that's fine. I have a lot of VMs there. Finish deployment. This took another maybe 10-15 minutes. So yeah, time maybe for another coffee. If you're doing this in real life, you can just put the video in pause or something. I just accelerate the process so you are not here waiting this quite a long time. And hosted engine deployment is complete. So now it's telling us that it is okay and the state is up. So that's good. Now we can go into the HTTPS of that new FQDN or IP, but I would recommend it to you going through FQDN always. So you can see I have the administration portal or the VM portal. Let's take a look into the probably administration portal. It's one of the best. And now, once again, we just log in with the admin and with the password that we introduced when we were deploying this, the wizard. Okay, profile internal, and let's go into login. That profile internal, it is important for later on. So just remember that internal on your head. And there you go. You have one data center, one cluster that is up. You can see the oVirt engine, which is, you can see it on here, which is up, memory, CPU, network, and SPM. So that is my host, the only host that I have. You have a few options here, check for upgrade, do host console, copy host networks, add more hosts if you want. You have one VM, which in this case is what is called hosted engine, and in this case it's DevQ. Then you can see that this over engine nested jorgedelacruz.es. So this is just the VM that is running on top of that of the host. So what else? Data centers, you can create different data centers, you can create different storage domains, and this is quite interesting. We will play with this on the next video just a bit, but you can see that I have the hosted storage and the image from kind of OpenStack services, and you can see the disks that I have at the moment running. In the case that you have any image, I don't have any. What else on here? Let me take a quick look. I think virtual machines I showed you already. Templates I don't have any. In terms of hosts, I showed you this already. So the good news is that you have deployed successfully a really good product, which is oVirt, Red Hat virtualization, based on KVM. And I don't know, from here you can start playing with everything, add more VMs if you want. I would recommend it to you to add more VMs. We will have more videos adding more VMs, adding Windows VMs, installing the guest tools, which of course is a bit different of VMware, but not that different. We will deploy Linux. We will deploy an interesting appliance on the next video, so you will see that. We will see that together. And from here, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that this is helpful for you, which is the most important thing. And if that's so, please just give thumbs up. Maybe write me some comments here. If you face any problem, let me know as well, because I understand that the procedure, even if easy, and following the steps, you will not have any problem. Just let me know. It might be resources or it might be DNS most likely. But anyways, just let me know if you face any problem. And without any further ado, I wish you that have a lovely day, and thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.